Fox Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Season started out well for both these teams. The Texans over the Jags, 37-21. The Dolphins a late takeaway to hold off the Patriots and defeat them. But since then, both the Dolphins and the Texans looking for that next win. A collision, these two head coaches of 7-game losing skids. And by the way, in the history of the NFL, the best record on Daylight Saving Sunday all time goes to the Dolphins with a 30-12 record.
They'd like to fall back to last season, though, right now, Chris.
Yeah, or spring ahead. Both of these teams have a lot of building to do. Outstanding weather, by the way. I mean, this is Chamber of Commerce in the 70s, sunny, a little breezy, just perfect. Texans, Dolphins, let's do this. Jalen Waddle from the 1-yard line. Stopped up across the 23-yard line. The Texans did win the toss and deferred. Let's head down to the field in Jen Hale.
Well, Chris, Tua Tagovailoa wanted to start today. That fractured middle finger not hurting him. This isn't an issue of pain tolerance. It is an issue of that finger is still so swollen he can't grip the ball well enough to get it all the way down the field. Now, the Dolphins did have some hope that the swelling would go down enough for him to play today. He's considered day-to-day, and they are still hopeful he might get the start versus the Ravens on Thursday, guys.
All right, thank you. It's Jacoby Brissett, 6th year. He started 3 previous games when Tua was injured with the ribs and was on IR as Myles Gaskin carries and goes straight ahead. So as Darryl said a moment ago in the open, Brissett, a veteran who it seems like he's been in the league more than 6 years. I mean, he backed up in New England, he backed up with the Colts, and now he's stepping in here in Miami.
Yeah, and he's become one of those guys when you look around the NFL, to have somebody like Jacoby Brissett behind your starting quarterback is a luxury.
No gain. Both teams, again, hoping to pound the ball, but on the second play, in the air and incomplete, trying to get to Gesicki. It'll be 3rd down and 10. The offensive line, Greg Mance off the one-time Houston Texan off that groin injury back at center up front for Miami.
Yeah, but everything has to start with these 5 guys right here. Now, hopefully they've got it kind of settled in, and they're going to be able to go through the second half of the season with that starting 5, because I think the pressures that are being given up, you're afraid to stretch the field. You have to be calculated in your shots to try and get it to your skill players right here to make plays.
No Devontae Parker, no Preston Williams. Matt Hollins will see a lot of action along with Waddle. And the busy tight end position. On 3rd and 10, Brissett has time in the pocket and hit as he throws. Took a while to wind that up. It'll be a 4th and 10.
And there's one guy that you have to know about, and it's Jonathan Grenard. Are working on the same side, a little bit of a twist. You can see 52 as he continues to work, gets back inside, and impacts that throw by Jacoby Brissett.
Punting unit out. And Desmond King back to receive from Michael Palardi. Fair catch called for. You see the dividing line between the sun and the shade here at Hard Rock Stadium as Tyrod Taylor, who played 6 quarters, he was hurt in week 2. And he thought he could come back last week. Hamstring had to have a heart-to-heart with his head coach. He said, we're not going to put you out there unless you're 100%.
Yeah, but look at those stats for that first game and a half. I tell you what, you go back to week 2, they're playing at Cleveland against the Browns, and they were 14-14 at halftime. Tyrod Taylor had just scored a touchdown on a run to tie that going in. And I tell you what, it very impressive, that first game and a half. So I'm excited to see his return here this afternoon.
Phillip Lindsay on the first carry after that 49-yard punt without a return. He gets up across the 30-yard line. And here's a look at the offensive line that they've been shuffling a little bit. They're last in the league when it comes to running the football at 3.3 yards a carry.
Yeah, kind of mirror images, these two teams. They struggle in a lot of the same areas, which will make for interesting matchups here this afternoon. We talked about the offensive line's impact for Miami's run game. I'm interested to see what Tyrod Taylor's impact has on that run game here this afternoon.
Lindsay the carry again, and room for Lindsay. And up there a 1st down, and got it close to the 40-yard line.
And that's what I'm talking about right here. It's kind of the zone read, RPO type package, and what that does is it holds this guy here on the end. He can't crash down on the run. He's got to honor, kick it out one more spot. It was Nick Needham who had run support coming from the outside.
He picked up 8. Lindsey's not played more than 20 snaps in a game this year. First 2 carries and a little dump off on the move. That's Chris Conley, working his way into Dolphin territory and gets down around the 36-yard line. It'll be another Texan first down, and you saw that mobility and a nice flip from Tyrod Taylor.
And that was really a nice job by Chris Conley, because that was not a clean play coming across in motion. Actually got bumped by some penetration, but is able to get out and get beyond all the edge defenders for Miami.
200th catch in the career of Chris Conley, originally drafted by the Chiefs. David Johnson is in at running back for Taylor after a 23-yard pickup. Straight ahead. Shoved inside the 35-yard line. Miami defense, Christian Wilkins has been playing very well, along with Emmanuel Ogbah up front.
Number 74 is reporting eligible.
And again, in that run defense, in an area that they struggled at early in the year, Raekwon Davis getting back in that lineup was a big addition. Jerome Baker, a guy, he's a little bit banged up right now. Missed a game last week for the first time in his career. You can see that injury is going to impact him. We'll keep our eyes on him today, because he could be very busy trying to stop this Texans run game.
2nd and 7. Lindsey back in, and Lindsey turns the corner. He's got a first down inside the 25 of Miami. This is a crisp-looking opening drive for this Texans offense.
Yeah, nice little dip inside by Xavier Howard. He's going to get, as you have Xavier Howard coming inside, watch him bring him all the way down into that. Gets him down in there. Now he breaks to the outside. He's got him outflanked. So just a nice little dip inside to open up that perimeter run.
Hey, you got Diamond!
Hey! Mike is back too!
Taylor from the pocket throws for the end zone and just over Brandon Cooks, who had a step but quickly got some help over there for the Miami defense. Tyrod Taylor, over the years from his time in Buffalo, he says was a high point. Look at head-to-head with Miami wherever he's been. 10 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a pretty good record for his team.
Yeah, that's a nice stat line against an opponent. And the biggest thing for me, those 10 touchdowns without any interceptions against that Dolphin defense.
Taylor with a quick toss and open at the 18 is Nico Collins, who fights to get near a first down, the 3rd-round draft pick from Michigan. Check that actual spot, but they were playing well off him. He's got a big frame at 6'4". That's something the Texans liked about him when they drafted him, and he's just short of the first down by about a half a yard.
Yeah, he's getting on a little bit of a roll here, getting a little bit of consistency. You can see why the Texans wanted to draft, kind of move back up into that draft to get Nico Collins. And the last couple of weeks, he's really starting to get comfortable in this offense.
David Johnson has kind of fallen into the power back role since they traded away Ingram, who was their leading rusher. He went to the Saints before the deadline. Taylor, pressure coming, threw it early, intercepted in the end zone. It was floating, and Javon Holland, the rookie, floated over to pick it off. Well, we're just talking about no mistakes when he has gone against the Dolphins in the career of Tyrod Taylor. Brandon Jones put the pressure on, and Holland came away with the Dolphins takeaway. Second-round pick from Oregon, Javon Holland, who's played every defensive snap for 3 straight games, comes up with a big takeaway.
51, sorry, Mike 51, ready. 118,
And straight ahead, Myles Gaskin. Boy, and if you're a Texan, you're going, wait a minute, we were moving. That's the first interception this year by Taylor.
Yeah, here's Brandon Jones. Watch him. He's going to have the pressure. And here is Javon Holland all the way over here. So that kind of fools Tyrod Taylor. He thinks he's got that whole back of the field open to Brandon Cooks. And just a real nice job by that safety combo. It's going to be fun to watch them through the second half of the season start to learn how to play side by side in this defense.
Here we go. Mike's 43. 43, ready. 118, set.
Brissett with a quick toss and open. Short of the 28-yard line. It'll bring up a third down. Jalen Waddle on the catch. Will say hi to Carissa and get a game break. Hello.
Thank you, Chris. Elsewhere in the AFC North, Browns-Bengals, 3rd and goal from the 3. Joe Burrow's pass intercepted by Denzel Ward. Takes this one all the way for 6. Browns up 7-0. Chris, Darryl, and Jen.
That deserves a wow. Big play. Game turning early for the Browns, who could use some defensive points with an offense filled with injury. Myles Gaskin carries and gets up across the 30, and he got the first down. As you can already see, the commitment to the run. And boy, this defense, they released Vernon Hargreaves, Charles Menahu was traded. I mean, I think one of the plays, it's like the Wizard of Oz. People come and go so fast here.
Yeah, and then you got Christian Kirksey on IR, so you've got a whole new kind of linebacker core behind those 4 guys up front. And here's really been the big issue for this team, really trying to sort through that secondary group. They're on their 5th starting group here this afternoon.
After the first down, Brissett rolling to throw. And open. It's Waddle, first down at the 48.
Jalen Waddle just kind of crossing the entire field. Here he is right here, number 17. Lined up inside tight, just kind of pushes it up, crosses field. You see the clear route on the opposite side, taking the defenders a little bit deeper so he can get into that void.
Maybe that's the way they could use that Alabama speed we saw. They'd like to get him downfield more, but they need protection for the quarterback. Pick up a 17. Fake to Gaskin. Brissett looking. Plays it safe. There wasn't anything there.
And that's the biggest challenge for this group through the course of the season is the ability to provide that protection up front. I think a lot of people are frustrated. The Dolphins fans are frustrated that we're not stretching the field. We're not hitting that explosive play. But they really can. You're talking about Jalen Waddle. He almost had 19 yards per reception at Alabama, and they just haven't been able to get him over the top. I think it's a product of them not really being all that confident that they can hold up in protection on those deep throws.
Yeah, it's half that yardage number as a pro, but that's not his fault. On a 2nd down 10.
Yeah, steal. 118, what's that?
Here comes a flag. And Gaskin brought down at the 49. Adrian Hill is our referee.
Offside defense. Number 55. 5-yard penalty. Replay, 2nd down.
John DeMarcus Walker. So Brissett starting, but Tua Tagovailoa is active. They're just concerned that middle index finger fracture should not require surgery, might not keep him out, may not go on the injured list. At least that's the early indication. They're hoping he'll be ready for their Thursday night game, but he's the backup to Brissett, the only other active quarterback for the Dolphins today. And Greg Mance, the center, injured. They're checking on him. We hope he's okay.
Back the cash. Today's game is sponsored by Burger King. Mix and match your faves for just $6.
Center Greg Mance, who was active last week, today got the start and now injured, limping toward the locker room. Austin Ryder comes in at the center spot on a 2nd and 5 from the 47 of Houston, following the interception by Howland. Fake the run, floats for the sideline, and a one-handed grab by Mike Gesicki. That is a sick catch.
The one thing that he does is he brings a big 50-50 ball matchup to the table, working against Eric Murray, the safety, and a back shoulder throw, and just an outstanding one-handed catch by Mike Gesicki.
I mean, he is 6'6", so when he puts that arm out, you could add to it. But what a catch, a gain of 18. Came in leading the team in receiving yards, and they add to it. First down, 29 of the Texans. In the same area, and overthrown. Looks like Gesicki was locked in the defender there.
We'll go back and take a look at this, and this is when you have a big body on the outside. You can see how he just kind of posts him up like a basketball forward down there trying to get a rebound.
Yeah, Murray at 5'11" on the next play was kind of jostling with him off the line of scrimmage.
And one thing I'm seeing right now is the Houston Texans are having a tough time getting lined up every once in a while, and you wonder if Miami gets into some tempo style. Could they catch them miss a line?
Brissett, catch made. Waddle hit hard, but he's got enough for the first down. Waddle came in leading all rookie receivers in catches, and he was in the top 10 across the league in any receiver category, and already his third catch.
Yeah, you can see in that situation right there, you get wide receiver versus linebacker. That's Hill outside in the slot, covering Jalen Waddle. That's a matchup the Dolphins will take every day.
We talked about the yards per catch and the difference there. From Houston, Texas, and Bel Air, went to Episcopal High. And showing off early for Miami against Houston. Gaskin, there was room there, but he went left instead of right. Looked like the hole was open for a moment.
Yeah, I agree. It looked like if he would have pressed it a little bit more outside. I don't know if there was some color that showed that made him go back inside, but it definitely looked like he could have gotten out to the edge on that instead of going back inside.
Dolphins only average 78 yards a game on the ground. That's 30th. Remember, it's a 32-team league. Don't have to tell you where that ranks. And Houston's actually been improving their run defense in the last couple of games. Pickup of 3. Gaskin straight ahead, hit hard when he got to the 10-yard line and shoved forward. Under 6 minutes to go in this opening quarter. Texans took the opening drive, marched downfield, but an end zone interception sets up Miami, and they've come the other way.
And both of these teams who have struggled to run the football during the course of the season up till this point, coming out and being efficient with it. Now, the big thing is if this game stays tight, will they both stay with that and try to strike some type of balance as they look for the better matchups?
Brissett capable of running on 3rd and 2. He's rolling, flipping. Gaskin has it and has the first down. It'll be 1st and goal, Dolphins.
You watch Myles Gaskin right here, just kind of that shovel pass that we normally see, where it's kind of that underhand flick. This one a little bit different, where a little bit of an overhand throw right there. But you press Jacoby Brissett to the outside, you force the defender to make a decision, and then you get the ball back up underneath.
Austin Jackson making a block to give him room. Now Brissett is out, and it looks like Gaskin for the direct snap. If they do, 1st and goal, he's got it. He's looking for a spot to run. Gaskin to the end zone. Touchdown, Dolphins!
Nice job by Durham Smythe, kind of leading up on Hill. Good hesitation by Myles Gaskin. When he gets that snap, he kind of lets the play develop in front of him, and it allows his lead blocker a little bit of time to get on that guy and create some separation.
Creativity to cap the drive, as Brissett did a nice job getting him down there, and Tua says, hey, way to go. True teamwork. And the extra point, Jason Sanders. He's got it, and it's 7-0. Miami, a 12-play drive covering 80 yards, more than 6 minutes. And for Myles Gaskin on the direct snap, his first rushing touchdown this season. Miami with another first quarter lead.
And by Corona Extra. Find the fine life. Live La Vida Más Fina. Please drink responsibly.
There's capping the drive we just talked about. Dolphins have scored first in 7 of their 9 games.
Yeah, now they've just got to be able to follow that up. They've had a tendency to get out and be very competitive in that first quarter, but they have this issue with transitioning into the second and third quarters.
Texans, by the way, longest drought in the NFL with a kickoff return for a touchdown, as this is a touchback. Last time it happened, 2009 for them, Jacoby Jones. Hey, last week the nation tripled Fox's Super 6 Stack the Cash jackpot. 5 lucky winners split over $300,000. Scan the QR code now. You can play the NFL Sunday Challenge for your chance at winning the growing jackpot. You play for free. Good luck. Myles Gaskin, who's former Washington teammate. Savon Ahmed is part of the Miami backfield. Taylor, second chance now. Lindsey, who's been active, knocked down around the 28-yard line. For a team with 7 consecutive losses, and actually for Brian Flores, this is third season. Finishing the season, the second part of the season, his teams have usually improved and won more games than the early portion. But this is just horrendous for both of these franchises to be 1-7. Rex Burkhead checks in after a gain of 3, deflected, and it'll be third down. Time for a game break. Check it again with Carissa.
Thank you, Chris. Vikings trailing 3-0 in Baltimore. Kirk Cousins goes up top. Justin Jefferson hauling this one in. 50-yard score. Vikings up 7-3. Chris?
All right, thanks very much. And the Ravens, the opponent, Thursday night for the Dolphins here at Hard Rock Stadium. You'll see that on Fox or the NFL Network and on the Fox Sports app. Crowd, those that are here supporting their team, buzzing on a 3rd and 7. Timeout.
Timeout. Houston.
Now this from Geico.
We love our house. Been here for years.
Yeah, but there's an animal in the attic. At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
We save a lot.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
After the Texan timeout, pressure on Taylor, and that bounce to Cooks incomplete. You could see the blitz coming.
Yeah, and this is something that they saw on film last week against Buffalo. Miami did a great job of affecting the quarterback. They've got everybody walked up into the front, and it's sorting out. Is everybody coming? Are some guys going to drop out? One of the best solutions for that is to get that quick screen out. But look at all these bodies, up. And we've already seen a couple of free runners to the quarterback. Right there, it's Adam Butler dropping out. So it's kind of that zone blitz scheme where people who you would expect to drop back in coverage actually rush the quarterback. People you'd expect to rush the quarterback, drop back in coverage.
And now Cameron Johnston is on to boom it away. Holland, who was in on the blitz there a moment ago and had the interception, he's back and hauls in the punt inside the 14 of Miami. And a healthy return all the way out across the 30-yard line. Dolphins behind Jacoby Brissett, the 8-yard punt and a 15-yard return. Brissett, who got the start if you tuned in a little bit late. It was a Sunday morning decision as Tua Tagovailoa in the second quarter of the game last week injured his middle finger on his throwing hand, his left hand, and affected him in practice. Brissett under pressure here, steps up and gets rid of it. And the heat was on from Jordan Jenkins.
Yeah, it had an opportunity to visit with Tua before the game, and it was something he wanted to work through during the course of the week. It kind of popped up late Sunday. The swelling was a little bit more than he anticipated. He thought he had just jammed the finger, and then after they did the x-rays, obviously you find out you've got a little bit of a fracture. The good news is it's something he's going to be able to play through. Does not require surgery at this point, but we talked about the struggles with this team getting the ball down the field, and that was just going to impound that a little bit more. That was the one area where he felt, my grip doesn't feel good because that middle finger is so swollen. I can't squeeze it. I can't get it down the field as good as I would like to. So I think it's a smart decision to go with Jacoby Brissett because, for Tua, that you got 9 games left, right? Well, this is what everybody was waiting for, and but you got to win. I mean, this team is so desperate for a win that you've got to put the best player in there. And I think sometimes a guy like Tua, you got to protect yourself from putting him in a situation where maybe he's not going to be your best option.
In his second year, 14 starts in the NFL, his injury history, I mean, that was the debate when he was drafted 5th overall last year. Alabama career, 2019, dislocated hip. Also in the posterior wall fracture, a first-round pick. The injuries limited through the offseason. As a rookie in 2020, missed a game with a thumb injury, missed 3 games with a broken ribs, and today the fractured finger, again, not believed to require surgery or put him on the IR. And so with the trade deadline passing, and there were discussions with the guy from the other sideline in Houston, Deshaun Watson. Those are over at least until officially next March when a deal can be made. Do the Dolphins, are they comfortable with Tua as their franchise quarterback going forward? Brissett gets away, heaves it downfield, and that's intercepted at the 30-yard line. It hung in the air before Eric Murray got to it.
It's just decisions, right? There's a margin for error. You'll hear Coach Flores talk about the margin for error week after week, and that is an example of it right there. Jacoby Brissett, don't throw a jump ball in that situation.
And it's a takeaway. Texans now on offense. Eric Murray back in the lineup for Lovie Smith, defensive coordinator of the Texans. They've done a good job this year of takeaways. And Brissett airing that one out. Turns it back over to the Texans. And Taylor gets hammered at the 20-yard line. And sacked. What a play by the Miami defense. Jalen Phillips is holding on to the football. Nick Needham got in on the blitz. And I don't know if they're calling that a loose football or he's down. We have to check on a ruling here. Looked like he was just sacked, but we'll watch closely.
Yeah, the scariest thing is when you get a free runner coming in. And this is the 3rd time so far in this game Miami has gotten a blitzer loose to the quarterback. Now let's see if this is a fumble. It looked to me like Tyrod has control, and he's down right there. So the ball comes out. When he hits the ground, that should still be Texans football. But the scary thing is for this offense, like I said, that's the 3rd time they've had a blitzer get clean all the way to the quarterback.
The previous play is under review.
All right, so it was not ruled. Maybe it was ruled. If it was ruled a fumble, then automatically it would be looked at. But the Texans, as you said, had to be aware. I mean, the head coach of the Dolphins and this team known for blitzing. I mean, that's not a surprise. Okay, so the ruling on the field is down, no fumble, but being looked at with under 3.5 to go here. And again, it was Needham on the blitz, and then it was Phillips who grabbed the football.
But what did we say at the top of the broadcast? You know, one of the benefits of not having Davis Mills in the lineup is the whole playbook was going to be open, and now we're hearing that it's going to be ruled a fumble.
Yeah, they turned it over. So obviously that's the wiser play, because then it gets reviewed. Somebody doesn't have to challenge it if it was that close. Mike Pereira will sort everything out, our rules analyst for Fox. And Mike, it's always good to talk to you. How do you see this one?
Well, I see that's a tough one. Is the ball coming loose? It almost seems to me that he's got it in his right arm when the butt hits. That's the first thing that hits. Like I say, I think it is a close call, but, you know, I see more possession. This shot right here makes it seem like the ball comes loose. They just have to determine on that whether or not he had the right arm on the ball. I think I like it more as being down.
Yeah, and Mike, they always try to, you said, they stay with the call on the field if there's nothing clear or obvious, but sometimes they call it on the field as a turnover so that it'll be reviewed.
Yeah, and it's a real tough call for the referee because he's got the big hit on the quarterback. So he's got to stay with that also. That's really his primary goal, is to focus on that quarterback. And so he might get a late look at this, and he's going to, if it's close, you want to play it as a fumble. And this one is close. 2 different angles make it look a little different.
Yeah, right there. On that one right there, if you look at that, I mean, Tyrod Taylor catches Nick Needham at the last second and moves that right arm to protect that ball. So I agree with what Mike is saying, that it looks like it's more possession than loose at that point. And now we've still got the Texans offense on the field.
Here's the call from Mr. Hill.
After review, the runner was down by contact at the 21-yard line. It will be second down. Please reset the game clock to 3:30. The clock will start on my ready for play signal.
Yeah, I think that split second that as Tyrod pivoted to his right and saw Nick Needham right in front of him, he was able to get that right arm secured on the football, and that's what saved him from fumbling in that situation.
And our thanks to Mike Pereira. There was movement, but the right hand stayed on the football. So they keep the ball. That's the good news for the Texans. The crowd here didn't like it, obviously, but it is 2nd and 20. That's the bad news for Tyrod Taylor and this Houston offense. From the 21-yard line of the Texans. David Johnson to the 30.
And we'll see what they continue to do here defensively against the Texans in this situation, a 3rd and long situation. We've seen them have so much success with this pressure to start this game. Do they continue with it right here in a 3rd and long situation, or do they drop back and play a little bit of zone this time?
3rd and 11. David Johnson, the running back, try and pick up the blitz. Here it comes. Taylor, throw is on target and up across the 45-yard line. Chris Conley with a first down.
And that's what happens when you decide to go with the pressure. You put one-on-one situations on the outside. Look at the bottom of the screen. Chris Conley working against Byron Jones. He's up tight, but it's a good release inside by Chris Conley right there. Physical with that release to get back inside and give Tyrod Taylor a good throwing lane.
Pick up a 15. Philip Lindsay back in at running back. He's carried the most for any runner in this game. For the Texans, nowhere to go, stumbling for maybe a yard or two, and there is a flag down right there at the 44. Texans may be guilty here.
Holding offense, number 83. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
The call is on the blocking tight end, Anthony Auclair.
Exactly, right? That's what he is. That's what his specialty is. He's the blocking tight end. He's the guy that you bring in when you want to run the football. He's going against a corner. There's no reason for a hold right there, and you know me, it's hard for me to see holding. I don't think I would have thrown that flag. I mean, he was muscling him around and turning him around, but I didn't see that separation with a handful of jerseys.
Taylor, and there's Conley, who had it but dropped it. And the way he was moving might have picked up a lot more than just a first down.
Well, I tell you what, he's doing a great job with his releases at the line of scrimmage. He beat Byron Jones to the inside again on that release, and if he can catch, that's a nice location by Tyrod Taylor, but watch the release right here again. He's able to get back inside, and right there, if he catches that on the move, that could be a big play.
Working against Byron Jones. Johnson carries short of the 37-yard line. It'll bring up a third down. Neither team has been able to run with any success, which shouldn't be a surprise, although the Texans' defense has given up a lot of rush yards. Miami hasn't been able to capitalize on that so far. Obviously a passing situation for Taylor, unless he could take off and run on 3rd and 17. The blitz again, and he's under pressure again. Heaves it one way, Cooks went the other way. It's 4th down. Jerome Baker put the pressure on Tyrod Taylor. Time for a game break. Let's check it again with Carissa.
Thank you, Chris. Broncos already up 6-0 on the Cowboys when Teddy Bridgewater drops back. Goes deep down the sideline to Tim Patrick, who hauls it in from 44 yards with Trayvon Diggs in coverage. Broncos leading this one 13-0 on the road. Chris?
Thank you. Boy, your Cowboys, they just can't handle success. I mean, they just, every time you think that one of the better teams in the league, Denver goes to Dallas and has a 13-0 lead. Long way to go in that game. Holland back to receive the punt. Fair catch called for at the 17-yard line. Saturday, Big 12 contenders square off in the big noon Saturday game of the week. 8th-ranked Oklahoma faces off with number 12 Baylor. It starts with the big noon kickoff crew live from Waco. 10 Eastern. It is part of the big noon Saturday on Fox and always on the Fox Sports app.
But what is one thing that we always talk about? I believe it's much easier to overcome adversity than it is to handle success. It takes a different skill set to handle success. It shows maturity and a lot of different character values. And let's, both of these teams would love the opportunity to see if they can handle success. It's just been adversity for Houston and Miami all season.
After a 45-yard punt from their own 17-yard line, they try to run it with Gaskin. Slips one tackle, but brought down at the 15. He'll lose yardage. Jordan Jenkins was there.
I tell you, Jaleel Johnson has been disruptive here in the first part of this game. Number 93. I mean, he's just getting up and blowing things up. He's in the backfield. He's been hard to block this whole first quarter.
Will they snap it? They don't have to as the first quarter winds down. And the Dolphins have led after the first quarter for the 7th time this season. It's the second most in the NFL. Buffalo along with them. Gesicki with the great grab. We've completed one quarter here in Miami. Dolphins with the lead and the ball. Ending November weather here in South Florida as we start the second quarter from Hard Rock Stadium along with Daryl Johnston, Jen Hale down the field. We've heard from Mike Pereira, Chris Myers, and our crew. Thanks for being with us. 7-0 Dolphins. Gaskin straight ahead and has an opening to the 21-yard line. Mentioned how good the Dolphins have started, not only with that first win of the season, but in the opening quarter. And after that, Brian Flores' team has to learn and adjust.
Yeah, and it's funny because we had a time in Dallas where we were really bad coming out in the third quarter, and it seemed like the more we talked about it, the worse we got. So I know how challenging it is to fight your way out of those lulls that happen during the course of the game.
118.
Brissett steps up, dumps it off to Gaskin, who, nice effort there. Looks like he just short of the first. We'll check that spot. But he knew where to go with the football once he got it in his hands. Saw a Texan come out of there with the football.
And that's why the check down, some of these times hey, I don't want to become a check down Charlie. Well, you know what? Sometimes the defense does a great job in coverage, and your best option is to give your running back an opportunity to go get that first down. And that's exactly what Jacoby Brissett did right there. There was really nothing down the field. He moves around in the pocket, gets it to Myles Gaskin. He gets him right up against this first down yardage.
Close enough that they're going to bring out the chains. I remember asking Roger Goodell a little bit about put something in the football so we can mark. He said, no, this is part of the drama, the human element of the chain gang and marking it and bringing it out for the officials. And look at how close. The expression, the cliche of game events. Oh, do you have to tilt that pole? All right, it's a first down. Greg Mance, who started at center, questionable the rest of the way with that ankle injury. You saw him leave. And Durham Smythe, the reserve tight end behind Gesicki and Shaheen, he apparently injured his eye. He's questionable. And on the Texan defense, Ross Blacklock had his wrist taped and is back in and available for Houston. Gaskin and Savon Ahmed in the backfield for Brissett. Gaskin has it on a little delay. Not much there.
It may be catching the Houston Texans with some different personnel groups here. We had an opportunity to visit with Lovie Smith, and he said, hey, we got to get ready for 12 personnel, which is one running back, 2 tight ends. Now, that's one of the prominent ones that Miami will run, and we're seeing more variety here this afternoon. You just saw right there with both running backs in, Myles Gaskin, Savon Ahmed in the backfield.
And different players for the Texans defense each week, it seems. Gaskin has a hole there, but maybe a yard or two. The ball came out on the end. Let's see if he was ruled down. And it is a fumble. And the official ruling that it is a takeaway for the Texans. Roy Lopez has the football. It's tough to see who caused the fumble, but there's Lovie Smith in that takeaway style defense. The punch, the old peanut punch. Charles Tillman, a one-time Bear who played with Lovie Smith. Was that Grugier Hill who knocked that loose?
Yeah.
There it is.
That is becoming more and more pronounced around the NFL, and the guys are getting really, really good at it. And there's one of the guys that kind of came up with it, Charles Tillman, while he was with the Bears under Lovie Smith, really kind of invented that peanut punch. I saw Charles Tillman do it when he was the guy coming up to tackle. A lot of times you want that to be the second guy coming in, but Charles Tillman got so good at it, as he came up as the guy initiating the tackle, he would get that punch through the football.
It has been reviewed and confirmed as a takeaway. I know teams have looked at video of Charles Tillman, or players have over the years. Grugier Hill, a former Dolphin, originally drafted by the Eagles, but playing well for Lovie Smith. And takes it away as Philip Lindsay carries. Nowhere to go. Just outside the 32-yard line. Wilkins again, second on the team in tackles, picks up another one there.
They are getting good inside. They're starting to feel it a little bit inside with their defense, and their play has really picked up over the last 3 or 4 games, becoming pretty tough to run the football into that front.
They've traded interceptions, and the fumble recovery by the Texans gives them the turnover advantage at 2-1, but Miami hanging on to that 7-0 lead.
Nico Collins down here looks like he's got one-on-one.
Burkhead, top of your screen, the running back as a receiver. Ball thrown and knocked down is Danny Amendola. Former Dolphin and Patriot, among other teams.
Well, you know, we've seen them roll through the running backs here for the Houston Texans. Philip Lindsay, David Johnson. You know, Rex Burkhead, a guy that we saw last week against the Rams, kind of come in later in that game and really add a spark. So we'll see if he can do that again here this week.
Burkhead remains the back. Had a touchdown run last week as they rallied in the fourth quarter to put up 22 against the Rams in defeat. Taylor pass is caught. Nico Collins reached out and kind of gathered it in with one arm. Beyond the shadows and into the sunshine.
I tell you, we've seen a couple of great catches. This one, just the reaction. Watch Nico Collins here. As soon as he gets his head around, that ball's coming, and it's coming hot. Another one-handed grab early in this game. Mike Gesicki with a great one in the first quarter for the Dolphins, and Nico Collins not being outdone right there. Great reaction.
Playing the last 3 games after missing the first 3 with a shoulder injury, but Collins with a big catch and Johnson stumbling here. Let's check in with Jen.
Well, Chris, this success that Tyrod Taylor is having with some of these new guys, not all that surprising. He told us in meetings this week he ordered cut-ups from their college days to study and to get to know them better, know their tendencies, be able to strike up a chemistry with them. So certainly it is paying off, that type of extra work, that attention to detail, paying dividends today for Tyrod.
Brandon Cook said he's a great player, continuing to learn, and I love being out on the field with him, so it's a good 1-2 combo with a veteran and a rookie. Tailored straight drop, pass is delivered. That's Johnson with a tough catch. The coverage was good. Andrew Van Ginkel, his 3rd year from Wisconsin, was there with him.
You know, I think one of the other things that Tyrod Taylor did is when you have that hamstring injury, when the guys are out of the practice field, you're rehabbing. You're trying to get that thing healthy so you can play. So being able to take him on the road and him be able to see that game from a different perspective, sitting in the meetings and watching it, he really had an opportunity to grow and see the game from a different perspective over those 6 weeks.
Yeah, he said he never had a hamstring in his career, his 11th season, but he said mentally you're ready before you are physically. And the blitz is on Tyrod, who floats one for the end zone, and incomplete for Amendola.
Well, the good news for the Texans right there is you had another one of those heavy pressure looks by the Miami Dolphins, and they actually did a nice job picking it up. There was nobody clean to Tyrod Taylor. He just overthrew Danny Amendola on that one.
He did have a step or so. Nick Needham was back there. Kaimi Fairbairn inside 40. He has made 53 in a row. Longest active streak from 31 yards away. And he keeps that going. Texans on the board after the fumble and the takeaway. You're watching the NFL on Fox from Miami. Agent is here at the game once again. Jalen Waddle back to receive in a 7-3 game. A deep kick to the 25-yard line. And that's for Miami, and Jacoby Brissett will take over on offense. Low-scoring game with Brissett getting the last-minute start on a direct snap to Gaskin, the only touchdown of the game.
Yeah, nice job there, jumping into that old Wildcat formation to get that touchdown. But then you follow it up with 2 turnovers. That's a bad decision right there by Jacoby Brissett. And, you know, Myles Gaskin fighting for some extra yardage right there, has the ball punched out. So, you know, a couple of mistakes, and it's been the consistency factor for the Dolphins offense. They've really struggled to gain that consistency. We'll get into some reasons why here after the snap.
Gesicki, 3 targets, that 1 outstanding catch. Need to get him the ball more. Albert Wilson in motion. Brissett deep and incomplete for Kirk Merritt, who was just called up from the practice squad because of the injuries to Preston Williams and Devontae Parker, and he was open.
Oh, he's absolutely open. You know, coming from the right side, presses to the middle, turns Desmond King around underneath, and Justin Reed having a tough time getting back over the top. And Jacoby Brissett knows he missed an opportunity right there.
Both Gaskin and Ahmed in the backfield. At 2nd down 10. You see the numbers on Brissett. 6 out of 13. The interception. He looks one way, and he's going to go down around the 23. Roy Lopez, the rookie from Arizona, had him. Time for a game break at Carissa.
Thank you, Chris. After a drama-filled week in Cleveland, the Browns off to a hot start today. Baker Mayfield goes deep for Donovan Peoples-Jones there. 60-yard score. They're back in the red zone right now, up 21-7. Chris?
All right, thank you. Continue to update all the scores from around the league. The Broncos shutting out the Cowboys in Texas. The Vikings are up 14-3 on the Ravens. Atlanta leads the Saints 3-0. Brissett at the 35-yard line. Hollins, did he hold on? No.
Yeah, and that's just, it's kind of part of that. We've had a couple of things interrupt that conversation there, but the lack of consistency for Miami, the shuffle at the quarterback position, you know, a couple of years ago it's Ryan Fitzpatrick and Tua that are, you know, sharing the snaps. You know, now this year, you know, with him being unable to stay healthy for the complete season, you get Jacoby Brissett, you know, 3 different offensive coordinators under Brian Flores.
Pilardi's boot. Desmond King dragged out at the 40. Texans in good field position. Here comes a flag on the last moment at the end of that play. Folks in Miami Beach want to know what happened. Who shoved who? We'll tell you about it and how it affects where the ball is marked.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness against the return team, number 25. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the dead ball spot. First down Houston, timeout.
Well, that's the Texans returner, Desmond King. And they'll back them up inside their own 25. Our pregame show halftime coming to you from Annapolis. And to all the veterans out there, Chris Connolly, his father in the U.S. Air Force. Appreciate all that you veterans are doing and have done, and the families of veterans as well. 39-yard punt. The penalty backed them up, so they're at the 25. Tyrod Taylor is going to go down. Slipped out of one tackle, and then he's sacked inside the 18-yard line. Give Van Ginkel credit for that one.
Well, they did a nice job affecting the quarterback last week in Buffalo. It was actually, you know, Josh Allen there, and didn't get him down as much as they would have liked to. But now they're impacting the quarterback here, Tyrod Taylor, and they are getting those sacks. We've seen a number of free blitzers get some hits afterwards, make him hurry the throws, getting home and getting some sacks now.
Second sack for Miami in the game. Taylor keeps. He's going to move up the sideline and pick up some yardage and go out of bounds short of the 20-yard line. You know, the Dolphin defense giving up 407 yards per game. That's worst in the NFL. But the Texans are barely, in fact, they don't even have 100 yards of total offense so far in this first half.
Yeah, they've done a nice job. And you know, it's one thing when you see it that week before. So you're watching film, you see what they did to the Buffalo Bills. They brought all that pressure, and you've got to get ready for it. So, you know, credit Coach Boyer right there for kind of tweaking it just a little bit, where it's still confusing the Houston Texans, but he's still being very aggressive with those pressure packages.
Even for a veteran like Tyrod Taylor, first game back since week 2. Third down, connects. Can he get the first down? And yes, he does. Brandon Cooks.
You know, you always hear about guys making plays, and sometimes they don't have to be those big splash plays. It's something like this. You know, this is a great job of getting the first down, getting your offense a new set of snaps. Just an outstanding job, just kind of slipping underneath Nick Needham right there by Brandon Cooks.
He's came in third in the NFL in third down catches, and that was a clutch one for 11. His first catch of this game. Phillips is in at running back. He gets the football and straight ahead knockdown as he got to the 40-yard line. Under 7 minutes to go before the half. 3 turnovers in the game. The only touchdown, the direct snap to Myles Gaskin. A fumble, a takeaway by the Texans defense led to a field goal. And that's where we are. Taylor has a moment here. And he's going to keep the slide around the 45. It'll bring up third down, and they'll need about 3, depending on the spot, once he gave himself up on the slide. He's had an interesting career when you talk about a guy getting opportunities to start. Some say a placeholder for future stars at that quarterback position. And David Culley, when he took the job, his first NFL head coaching job in Houston, he thought he was going to have Deshaun Watson, but when a trade was demanded and other issues off the field came to the surface, then he's like, okay, give me Tyrod Taylor. They had worked together before. Then he had the hamstring injury, hoping to lead the Texans out of a 7-game slide as that's batted away. Emmanuel Ogbah, former teammate with Taylor back in Cleveland.
Yeah, you've got everybody in the middle, so you've got to squeeze everything down to protect that quarterback. That's going to leave you vulnerable on the edge. So really a nice job. You can see Emmanuel Ogbah getting up there. There's no way that Tyrod Taylor is going to be able to get that pass, through that big body coming at you.
And Ogbah from Houston, Texas, Richmond, and that's George Bush High School. A number of Texas, Houston area guys that are playing for Miami. It's a big play on third down. Johnston, the punter. They looking to fake this or do something tricky. They need 4.
Now that was a nice job just by that little subtle movement by your wings to see if you could get Miami to jump, because you're inside 5 yards. So trying to steal a first down via penalty. Good discipline by the Dolphins on that snap.
And the Texans penalized with the delay, but
thank you. Roger that. That's all right.
David Culley looking on. Johnston back to punt, standing inside the 25 of Houston. Javon Holland at the 15 of Miami to receive. Grabs it on the fly, and nice work up across the 23. The ball came out. See who got it back. A little hesitation on the initial reception, or I should say catch, as he hauled in that punt. Then he took off. And Holland lost the football. Did he get it back, or did a Texan hop in there?
I tell you, it was right underneath Javon Holland, but he got pushed off of that football. There's a lot of Texans players that had an opportunity. We'll see if they come up with it.
See what the officials rule. A lot of pointing by players, and there's an official ruling one way. I mean, as a former fullback, it's a...
The ruling on the field is a recovery by Houston, first down.
We'll check on who recovered it, and we'll have a closer look. Obviously, they will review this. You've been in these pile-ups when you played special teams and a fullback in the NFL, Daryl. The ball's out.
Yeah, definitely ball's out, and it looks like, the player that came up with it was Kevin Pierre-Louis. But you'll see right there, it's underneath Javon Holland. And you thought for a second he had the best opportunity, but there's Kevin Pierre-Louis, 57, just kind of diving in there and pulling that ball away.
And A.J. Moore was the one who really created the fumble so that the Texans could recover it. Second fumble recovery by the Texans. Last one led to their only points. From the 23-yard line, Amendola's going to throw, and a late throw for Brandon Cooks. Needham was back there, could have intercepted, but Cooks looked like he was going to be open.
Yeah, this is strange. I don't know why Danny Amendola didn't continue to press this a little bit. Watch, he's going to loop around from the right side on the end around, but he's going to have the opportunity to throw this ball. He can press it a little bit more. That's going to give the receiver an opportunity to separate from Nick Needham right there.
He had a lot of time.
Yeah, just throw that up and let Brandon Cooks run underneath it. I don't think the safety was close enough to make a play down by the pylon.
Creative, but no result on a 2nd and 10 for the Texans. Taylor fires and catch made. Cooks knocked down at the 18 by Needham. And let's get a game break with Carissa.
Thanks, Chris. Patriots trailing 3-0 in Carolina. Mac Jones hands it off to Damian Harris, who scores from 3 yards out. Panthers would add a field goal, so Patriots leading 7-6. Chris?
Close one there. Raiders and Giants are tied at 10. The Bills and Jacksonville are tied at 6. No Von Miller, but the Broncos shutting out the Cowboys, and the Vikings up in Baltimore. Atlanta adding to their lead in New Orleans. The rise at halftime. I'll have all the highlights and updated scores coming up. A 3rd and 4 here. Here comes the blitz. Taylor throws into the end zone and overthrows Brandon Cooks. And the field goal unit coming in. Are you okay with this on 3rd and 4? Do you take the points? Do you try to?
Yeah, it's still early in the game. Nah. You take the points here, get it to 7-6.
You're 1-7. You've lost 7 straight.
Yeah, but you play the game the way you always want to play the game, and that's to win. And if the decision to win the game here is to take the field goal, I agree with this decision by David Culley. And what they've got to do is they've got to get to the sideline and figure out what is going on with this pressure package by the Dolphins. They've got to watch, going empty, only leaving one guy there, because the Dolphins are bringing more than 6 on a lot of these, and you've got to kind of cipher through who's coming and who's not coming on those pressures.
Fairbairn again. You see that streak from under 40, and a whistle here before the snap. There's a flag down in the end zone.
There was no play. The play clock expired. Delay game, offense, 5-yard penalty, replay, 4th down.
So that's going to back him up. So will this kick be under 40 yards where he has that string going? Technically, we'll check the spot. Could be 41.
Looks like it is.
42. And
right
that's
on.
Just, I don't blame David Culley for being upset with that.
Well, he's probably mad, at himself for not being able to get that PAT field goal team out there under the clock.
Officially 40 yards away. Fairbairn up there, out there, and they get the 3. It's a 1-point game. Special teams takeaway for the Texans, recovering the fumble, and it leads to 3. Miami up 1 with just about 4.5 before the half. Has it been more about the defenses or the offenses continuing to struggle? Or, well, we've had 4 turnovers combined. Jalen Waddle back to receive on the kickoff. If he has the chance, he'll let it go and out to the 25-yard line. The ball has taken some funny bounces. It hasn't worked out for Miami. If you go through whether it was special teams or not, chances or rulings that went against him.
Yeah, really odd plays during the course of the season. And when most people say, hey, the ball hasn't bounced our way, I kind of look at that as an excuse. But you see these highlights, it's legitimate. And then just this crazy play last week, I agree with everybody. We've got to get that rule changed. It should have been 2 points for the Miami Dolphins in that situation.
You're the Dolphins. You had 3 players there. You should make the play. Today, they are making the plays, at least on fumbles. And that's incomplete. Gesicki the target. Again, just one catch. So, yeah, you create your opportunities, your bounces, your breaks.
Yeah, absolutely. But, it has been, when Brian Flores says it, you're like, well, you kind of make it hard to argue with it when you watch those 3 plays. So, but today, the Houston Texans have come out here. The ball has bounced their way because they're forcing it their way.
Well, whatever explanation, when you've lost 7 in a row, Mac Hollins, who's up active as a receiver, special teams player, he said it's not kind of embarrassing. It's embarrassing to have a record like this. Brissett. And nice catch by Waddle. Should be enough for the first down as he worked his way out of bounds.
And when the Texans bring a little bit of pressure, the Miami front does a really nice job of giving Jacoby Brissett a nice clean pocket that's just really well executed on the timing route to the outside.
Waddle has a couple of games this year with 10+ catches. That's his 4th reception today. And firing again, Brissett right at the marker is Waddle again. Good enough for the first down.
Yeah, you're getting into a little bit of a rhythm right here now with Jacoby Brissett and Jalen Waddle. Kind of that same play to the outside. Just keep testing Terrence Mitchell, and then you wonder if you dial up one of those double moves on the outside.
Gaskin carries. Brissett, his 4th start this year for Tua, and his injuries from the rib to the throwing finger on that left hand. 36th career start. Remember, he subbed for Tom Brady with the Patriots, traded in Indianapolis, filled in there at quarterback, actually had the starting job for a while. Going back, caught the eye of Bill Parcells back in the day. Dumps it off to Gaskin at midfield. Can he get out of bounds? And the officials, yes, nice effort there from Myles Gaskin.
Yeah, really nice effort there. And again, it's, we had the Houston Texans last week. It's one of the things that Coach Culley talked about. We've got to be better tackling. And, Terrence Mitchell's got an opportunity to come up and make that a short gain and put him in a third in medium, and he just completely misses the tackle.
That's Lovie Smith. If you haven't noticed the full beard on 3rd and 3, you can't help but notice. Brissett throws and incomplete. Albert Wilson couldn't hang on. You see the flag. Let's check that first.
Before the pass, holding defense. Number 51, 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Kamu Grugier-Hill called for the hold at a first down Miami now.
Yeah, we'll see what happened. They had about 3 receivers out there, and he's got his arm on him. That's more of the collision on that release where they were trying to run the rub route. So I could see if Kamu Grugier-Hill was not really happy with that call.
Time for Brissett underneath. Wilson has it inside the 30. It's another Miami first down. All 3 timeouts for the Dolphins here, and they'll have the 2-minute warning. Jen has more on Brissett.
Indeed, Chris, you know what? He is the veteran heart and soul of this quarterback room. He pulled his offense together a few moments ago and gave him a stern talking to, telling him to stop letting the Texans defense dictate things. It's about them. We'll see if it pays off.
He's under pressure now, and he's going to get sacked back around the 44-yard line. Malik Collins and Jordan Jenkins converged on the 6'4" Brissett. Never really had a chance to even get rid of that ball.
No, that's what happens. That's your 4-man rush right there. You can see how frustrated Jacoby Brissett was with that play, and it pushes him back. I mean, there's Malik Collins. Here comes off the edge. So you got inside-outside pressure right there on your quarterback with just a 4-man rush.
And pushes him out of field goal range for the moment. Maybe a face mask there. 2-minute warning. Jacoby Brissett wanted a call on the face mask, didn't get it.
Yeah, he wasn't upset about the lack of protection. Not only Malik Collins, but Jordan Jenkins as well. Both had some face mask there.
Down the middle, another one-handed grab from Gesicki. The guy's unbelievable.
You just got to watch this and appreciate that. You're going up the seam. You're going to take a big hit. You're going to elevate one hand again and be able to get down. If there was somebody coming in to try and put the big hit on him and jar that ball loose, look how good he has body control to protect himself in that football.
A Beckham-like grab. Second time today from Mike Gesicki. Picks up 18 again.
Where you at?
Back in field goal range. They need 4 for a first down. He tried again, but this time he couldn't bring it in with that one hand. Desmond King wouldn't allow it.
I like the decision, right? Desmond King's the corner. You know, he's played some slot corner in his career, so move him down inside against Mike Gesicki, and he almost has his trifecta of one-handers here in the first.
Yeah, that size difference I mentioned earlier. He's 6'6". King on him on that play is 5'10". You see Gesicki's upset with himself that he didn't make that catch. He kind of got hot in the Buffalo game when things weren't lined up right. People said, oh, we never saw you get that mad, but he's getting frustrated like a lot of these Dolphin players. 42 yards away, field goal try, and Sanders hits, so they get something out of it. It's now a 4-point lead. Well, he is fun to watch. Now this from Bud Light Seltzer and State Farm.
Oh, Bud Light Seltzer Retro tie-dyes?
Have you tried these yet?
Bud Light Seltzer Retro tie-dye, the loudest flavors ever.
So if I was a sneakerhead cashing in on that sweet employee discount, I could still get the Patrick price?
Yep. State Farm has rates that fit any budget.
Nice.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Call or click to get a quote today.
Gesicki came in here, entered week 9, third among NFL tight ends in catches. And I like that stat. You didn't talk about a guy like Kyle Pitts in Atlanta, who's been outstanding, but 5 catches at 20 yards or more. That was tied for most in the league in terms of a deep threat for tight ends. And a free agent, or a guy that could be a free agent by the end of the year. He's had 4 different offensive coordinators in his 4 years with the Dolphins.
Yeah, it'd just be interesting to see some of these players if there was some consistency and some carryover from season to season so they could grow in those offenses.
Smith brings it out for the Texans, and a good return across the 26. And from Annapolis, let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
I'm at the U.S. Naval Academy with Brigade Commander Jackie Booker. Jackie, what do we have coming up on the Verizon halftime?
We'll be having highlights from Cincinnati, New England, and Las Vegas.
It's all coming up on the Verizon halftime from the Naval Academy.
Pre-game show outstanding on Fox, and looked like a good time and a good cause. Good support of the troops. Veterans Day this week. Tyrod Taylor cannot get away. Agba is there. Third sack of the day for the Dolphins.
Timeout, Miami. They're first.
Coming off that left side, you did a little bit of a twist. Everybody goes with Jalen Phillips. He comes back underneath, and you know, an opportunity right there for the Dolphins. You know, they needed that timeout a little bit quicker. They could have got that timeout with about 54 seconds. No, so beyond that.
Maybe a minute 4.
Yeah, maybe it was a minute 4, yeah. But they definitely waited and lost some ticks right there.
They will have 2 remaining, as do the Texans. Tyrod Taylor, who played well in the first 6 quarters to start the year before his injury for David Culley, has had a tough time with this Miami defense. Not only the interception, but the blitzes, some of the coverages on a 2nd and 18. Dolphins want to get another shot at getting the football, putting some points up. They'll be kicking off to Houston to start the second half. Taylor in trouble. Flag down, and he's out of bounds. And was that intercepted?
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor is going out of bounds, and he just flicks it downfield, and it really looks like Jerome Baker got the interception. The official,
he's calling it an interception. I thought Tyrod was already out of bounds.
The ruling on the field is an interception. Before the pass, holding offense, number 72. That penalty is behind. First down, Houston.
Well, an alert play by Baker and a sloppy play by Taylor here.
There's Jerome Baker right there, and Tyrod Taylor going out of bounds, and just throw it. He flicks it. He's in bounds on the play. Jerome Baker's out of bounds.
Yeah, one foot was out. He had to bring it back in. They'll look at it, of course, because it's a turnover, and we're inside of 2 minutes anyway. An official booth review, but wow. Baker missed last week. You mentioned earlier that knee injury was the first game missed in his career, but they're saying that Baker did a good job of bringing his foot back in, and that's, I think, what he's arguing is he was out of bounds. Well, he got the foot back in, repositioned himself, as Mike Pereira would always point out, but they're confirming it as an interception. Wow.
The ruling on the field is confirmed. First down, Miami. He stepped out of bounds.
And you hear the argument from the Texan sideline. You're right, Tyrod Taylor was certainly still in bounds, but Baker got that 1 foot back, and
Okay, so as a guy who's gone into the end zone, you have to reestablish yourself with both feet back into the field of play before you can down that football if the punt is going in. But on the sideline, with your foot out of bounds, he got both of them in to reestablish himself back onto the field of play.
In a matter of a split second for a big guy like that. Nifty move. Catch inside the 10. Durham Smythe, who had the eye injury earlier, back in the game, and it's going to be first and goal on the toss from Brissett. They use the timeout. They will have one remaining. Let's bring in Mike Pereira, your voice looking on here, Mike. How you saw that reestablishment. Was that the right call?
Yeah, that's the big, when you reestablish, you've got to get either 2 feet down or another body part other than the hand or foot. And so he comes back from out of bounds. And again, that pass was legal because he hadn't stepped out of bounds. Then he gets both toes down, and then he is eligible to make that interception.
Wow, yeah, Jerome Baker looking like an experienced receiver. Not only the way he caught the football, but did the nice toe work on the sideline.
Right from the toe.
Gesicki, top of your screen, Waddle in motion. First and goal, Brissett. Throws that out of the back of the end zone, and a fan grabs it. Second and goal. Did he catch that on the fly?
No, I think he took it from the guy who's getting up right now. The guy in the dark shirt made the great effort.
Can you have an interception in the stands? Saw Gesicki a couple of weeks ago on a touchdown catch go into the stands with a young kid who hung in there and got rewarded with a jersey from him and the Dolphins. From the 5-yard line. Brissett. End zone throw. Incomplete. Adam Shaheen, the target. 33 seconds remain on a third and goal.
Yeah, they had Mike Gesicki on the left side open, but you work in the right side of the field right here. A lot of contact down there, but here's Mike Gesicki right there, 88 with that bunch formation. He pops open right away, but a little bit of pressure forced Jacoby Brissett to the right side working with Adam Shaheen.
Still have a chance. Brissett throws. End zone. That's a Dolphin touchdown. Mac Howens. Popular player, special team star, playing because of getting more playing time at receiver because of Parker and Williams being out. Nice catch on a 3rd and goal.
Now working against Terrence Mitchell on the outside, just beats him inside right here, presses it up a little bit, and really nice location by Jacoby Brissett.
Looked like he saw it all the way. And the extra point, quick turn of events. Dolphins with another takeaway, the interception by Baker on Taylor. And they turn it into points. 2nd touchdown. Gaskin had the earlier one, and Brissett's done a nice job. Of course, he's used to filling in. Hope you're enjoying the game. I know Dolphin fans are. Texan fans frustrated here. What do you expect as we look ahead now to the second half?
Well, I expect Tyrod Taylor to play a lot better than he has here in the first half. We keep on the air saying, you know, the thing that he brings is experience. Been there, done that. What I've seen today here in the first half is a little bit of rust. That first interception on the opening drive, I think he thinks he has that side of the field open. Javon Holland does a great job of the pre-snap read and getting all the way to the other side. But that casual little flip that gave the Dolphins an opportunity for one more possession at the end of this half is something I wouldn't expect to see from Tyrod Taylor.
But alert from the Dolphins and their defensive approach to this game, Darryl, whether it's the blitzing you talked about, the takeaways, the awareness, what they've done to the Houston offense, you got to give them credit. It's been a great defensive game plan.
It really has. It's been close, and you showed this pressure against Buffalo last week, so Houston had the whole week to prepare for it. And they're still being able to affect Tyrod Taylor. They're getting home. They're getting free hits on him. They got a couple of sacks. So really starting to pay dividends. That's the big thing. They may need to go in at halftime and scale things down a little bit and make sure that they're real sound in their protections, because this Dolphins defense has really got the Houston Texans offense on the run.
Yeah, and those takeaways by Miami, the 2, it's not the number, it's what you do with it. They produce touchdowns, as you just saw, instead of settling for field goals, as the Texans have had to do. And they're just going to run this out. They're going to get the ball first. That's Burkhead to start the second half. Verizon halftime. They'll be coming to you from Annapolis, our pregame crew. And Baltimore's within 7 now of the Vikings. Cowboys still getting shut out in the 3rd quarter, 16-0. Raiders leading the Giants 13-10. Remember, the Ravens Thursday night take on the Dolphins. So Miami clamping down the defense, producing points. And they have taken a firm lead in this game as you look at our State Farm halftime stats. 5 combined turnovers. Time of possession rather equal, but some sloppy play here and there. Second half kickoff coming up right now to the Verizon halftime. Let's join the crew in Annapolis.
Productions is prohibited.
Today's game flow brought to you by Progressive at half, 17-6, getting ready for the 3rd quarter, and the Dolphins ready to kick off. Each team trying to end that 7-game slide. For Tyrod Taylor, who got the start, it's only the 2nd time in 49 career starts for him at quarterback that he has suffered 2 interceptions. And with Brian Flores, in his first 2 seasons, this is his second half or second part of the season, his teams have played better football.
And they keep telling everybody we're getting close. The preparation during the course of the week is there. We're just not transferring that to the game. So we'll be able to see here this afternoon if that really does pay itself off, because that was a really nice first half. It really was, especially defensively. They are one step ahead of the Houston Texans right now in that matchup, and that's what I'm interested to see in this series right here, is how does Tyrod Taylor adjust after, for only the 2nd time in his 49-game career, throwing more than 1 interception.
Yeah, and who helps out on this Texan offense? They really, they want to run the ball. They don't have a star runner or a very consistent offensive line. They just are void of offensive star power. And on the move, there's a nice catch. Brandon Cooks hauls that in. Let's check in on the field with Jen.
Well, Chris, David Culley thinks this Texans offense would be in a great spot if they weren't turning the ball over. He's happy with pretty much everything else. In terms of that pressure package the Miami defense is bringing against Tyrod Taylor, Tyrod is just going to have to make better, quicker decisions, Culley says. He's not trimming down the playbook or anything else to help him out. He just encouraged him at the half to remember who he is and make a fast decision. Meanwhile, running back Scotty Phillips questionable with a leg injury, so Tyrod's not getting any more help right now.
All right, thank you. Philip Lindsay and David Johnson have carried much of the load. We saw a little bit of Rex Burkhead on 2nd and 1, and no first down there. Hit hard. Excellent tackle by Landon Roberts, who goes back to his New England days with Flores from Port Arthur, Texas. Did they give him the first down? I don't know about that. Looks like he got knocked back, but whatever forward progress is in the eye of the official. And spotted right at the 35-yard line, but a nice hit by Roberts.
Hey, alert. Mike is ball too.
And the pace picked up a little. Lindsay, and brought down from the corner spot. Byron Jones, corner safety, depending upon where he lined up. Excellent defensive play.
Yeah, really nice job here by Byron Jones, because you're going to see him. He's going to be sliding in. He's got run support. It looks as though for a second there that Philip Lindsay might be able to out-leverage him, but Byron Jones extremely athletic.
Texans came in averaging just 15 points a game. And a couple of field goals. The 5 combined turnovers is the most in any first half. Actually tied for the most in any first half of a game this year. 2nd and 10. The toss and incomplete. David Johnson maybe had a shot at it. Baker, who had that incredible interception right before the half, was back there on the coverage.
Well, he did a really nice job right there, because that was going to get dropped right in over the top to David Johnson, and Jerome Baker got a hand in there to knock that away.
Tyrod Taylor told us the go route. Most quarterbacks love that. That's his favorite throw. He just hasn't had a chance really to keep it downfield. Under pressure here, and that's intercepted at midfield. Justin Coleman with the takeaway for Miami. It looked like it was deflected, but he stayed with it to pick it off. 3 interceptions for Taylor, and the Dolphin defense coming away with another.
But again, it's a free rusher right to the quarterback. Tyrod Taylor does a nice job of stepping up underneath Javon Holland to make the throw. So you're going to get that right there, and it's free. But just a good feel, senses him, steps up, resets his feet, makes the throw. But it's a nice play by Justin Coleman, kind of undercutting this. A little bit of a deflection right there at the line of scrimmage by Adam Butler.
And a career high 3 interceptions in one game for Taylor. You thought rusty, and it certainly has looked that way, but the Dolphin defense has made sure that Taylor has not found his groove. Nice play on Ahmed by the Texans defense.
And I'm not going to give this to rust on Tyrod Taylor. We've got to compliment this Dolphins defense at some point, because they are getting people to the quarterback. That's their mantra. They want to affect the quarterback in this game. Obviously, they would love sacks, but it's the hits, the hurries, forcing him to reset his feet, giving their defense an opportunity to make plays down the field.
Yeah, they really thought they had Buffalo. I mean, they hung right with them, and Buffalo had just over 104 rush yards, and let that game get away from them. That's deflected, but still caught. Smythe hauled that in inside the 45 of Houston.
Finally getting a little bit of pressure by the Texans.
Looked like that. Was that off somebody's helmet? The bounce of the ball in favor of Miami today, and they've earned it from the 44. Spotted. Need 4 for a first down. Time for Brissett in the air and intercepted. It's a Texans takeaway. Malik Collins on another deflection. Boy, Brissett, he's a tall quarterback, 6'4". Up, he's throwing down into where the arms are up, but Collins hanging on to that football. It's a turnover-filled Sunday. Maybe they set the clocks back a little too far.
bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance.
Well, with the Tua injury, Brissett got the start, but these are ugly numbers for any starting quarterback in the NFL. Brissett now career-high 3 interceptions for him. Texans have the football back. It's going to be one of those games. Can Miami hang on to it? Underneath, Auclair, the tight end. And Andrew Van Ginkel makes the tackle. The turnover started with Holland and his pick, and they just kept coming.
He sure did. Hang on, everybody. Here we go. All 7 of them. Now, that's a takeaway right there. I'll give that to Camus Grugier-Hill with a little punch-out right there. This is just very careless by Tyrod Taylor, and you come out in the second half after that careless turnover and have another one. Thank goodness your defense makes the play. Ross Blacklock gets the deflection, and Malik Collins gets the pick. Oh, boy.
Wide open is Amendola, and on the move, Taylor misses him.
That may be as big as an interception for Tyrod Taylor right here. I mean, he is wide open. There's Danny Amendola in motion. Nobody picks him up. Nobody. He is running free, and Tyrod Taylor just sails it.
Yeah, and Amendola, one of those guys showing frustration he has in the last few weeks for just, the losing is one thing if you're giving your all, but when you're making mistakes that you know you're better than or can correct, it's terribly frustrating for guys who've been around a while. And that goes on Taylor. Burkhead in at running back. They need 2 for a first down. And Burkhead's going to get it and more. He continues to move down the sideline. All the way inside the 15. Now there's a flag down back at the 45-yard line.
And they're going to call offensive pass interference here, I think. And I'm not going to agree with this call because I think the contact is initiated by the defender.
Pass interference, offense, number 89. 10-yard penalty, replay, third down.
And, this is tough. These are these pick plays where you're crossing, but I really think, watch as everybody clears to the inside. I want you to watch number 52, Landon Roberts. He's going to come out right there. He kind of initiates the contact with Danny Amendola. Danny Amendola is not setting a pick or doing anything. So I think that was more on the Miami defender than it was on the Texans receiver trying to create a pick or a rub.
Takes a big gain off the board. Now 3rd and 12. Backed up at the Texan 42. Taylor from the pocket shows arm straight, then open in between, but can't hang on, is Amendola. Byron Jones was there in the coverage.
Nice job by Byron Jones. Danny Amendola's in a position to make that play, and you can see that hand come through and knock that ball loose.
Former Pro Bowler with the Cowboys, got that arm in, made sure that Amendola couldn't come down with that. So the punting unit is out. Holland back to receive. And the Texan offense continuing to sputter. Holland from the 10. He lost a fumble earlier, had it knocked away. And here comes a flag as he's hustling across the 25 up near the 30 before going out of bounds. And a second flag comes in. Miami, by the way, has not had a penalty accepted on them in the game today. But hold everything.
You got the one out. The second one that came in looked like the potential for an illegal crackback block on the return. So these both could be against Miami.
So they would be backed up further.
There were 2 fouls on the play, both during the return. Personal foul, illegal blindside block against the return team, number 22. That penalty is declined. Illegal block the back against the return team, number 42. That penalty is enforced half the distance to the goal from the end of the kick. First down. Timeout. Correction from the spot of the foul.
Penalty will take away the big return, but Miami has the football and the lead. spotted at the 8-yard line. By the way, most penalties combined in a game this year, turnovers I should say, make that. 7 is the total in penalties, 7 against Houston. That was the first penalty against Miami that backed them up as Gaskin is knocked down right away.
That's Jaleel Johnson again. He has had a heck of an afternoon here today. He's been in that backfield very quickly on multiple occasions today for that Texans front.
After a 2-yard loss, Brissett at his goal line, and Gesicki in between a couple of defenders make that Mac Hollins, who had that nice touchdown right before the half, held on to that.
And Mac Hollins, just one of those guys, just a straight-out football player, and just a real nice catch here. It's a slant route. He knows he's got pressure from the inside, leverage on the outside. Nice window. Great throw by Jacoby Brissett to stick that in there.
Special teams captain. Couple of catches today, including that touchdown. Brissett has a moment, and there's Gesicki with the catch. Time for a game break, and here's Carissa.
Thanks, Chris. Ravens trailing 24-10 against the Vikings. 4th and goal from the 1. Lamar Jackson finds Patrick Ricard for the score. Ravens cut the deficit to 7, and we will see the Ravens and Dolphins on Thursday Night Football right here on Fox. Chris?
All right, thank you very much. Another catch for Gesicki, worth watching. He's had some outstanding 2 one-handed grabs already in this game. Brissett dumps it off short. Gaskin, he's down, the whistle blows, and frustrated with King right there. He thought he could slip away.
Well, if I'm Miami, I might just stay with that play that they've executed here to start this drive. You know, get everything spread out and just keep running those quick little slant plays. You know, the way that the defenders for the Texans are playing that pass, it's open to the inside. Force them to stop that just by their alignment.
Savon Ahmed is in the backfield. Blitz picked up for the moment. That's Waddle underneath at the 31.
Offensive coordinator George Godsey right there, one of the co-offensive coordinators here in Miami. And, you know, a lot of it, this offense, you'll see the quick in-breaking routes. And again, we talked about that at the top. You know, the struggle sometimes with the offensive line and pass protection. The Texans, you know, happy to just rush forward the majority of the day today. So maybe they can dial up a little bit of a play action and hold the ball a little bit and see if they can get a shot down the field.
A lot of room to run if he wants it. And Brissett gets the first down. Zach Cunningham, who last year led the NFL in tackles, called on more in this game because of the injury to Christian Kirksey, who's inactive.
And the big thing in this scheme for the Texans is those 4 down guys. They've got to be able to generate that pressure on their own. If not, you've got to have your rush lane integrity. And right there, Jacoby Brissett saw that window and got the necessary yards for the first down.
Picked up 7. Ahmed carries just short of the 40. Jen?
Well, Chris, Darrell was just talking about the offensive line. Greg Mance, the center, who went out in the first quarter, he has been downgraded to out on that ankle injury. So Ryder will continue to close out this game with the Dolphins today. We'll see how he continues to help them and if this score can continue.
All right, thanks, Jen. After a 2-yard pickup, spotted at the 39. They did not give him progress to the 40. Extra pressure. Brissett gets away and delivers. Gesicki, his 4th catch of the game, and that's enough for a first down.
You know, you finally bring a little bit of pressure here, and it doesn't get home. There's Zach Cunningham right there, and he's going to be able to get between Austin Ryder and Austin Jackson, and just misses an opportunity for that sack on Jacoby Brissett.
It was fun talking to Gesicki. He said, I'm not a captain or anything, but I lead by example by just trying to make plays, do the right things in practice and on game day. And he's been very reliable for this team. Pressure and off the hands and incomplete on the move, trying to get it to Albert Wilson.
Yeah, there was something not quite right on that play because Jacoby Brissett got outside and was looking to throw it, and he had a couple of his receivers that way blocking downfield.
There's a flag at the 48 on the other side of the field from where he threw the ball in the direction of Wilson.
There is no foul on the play for an eligible downfield. Second down.
.22 drop passes for the Dolphins. It's tied for most in the NFL coming into the game, along with Carolina. That was a little behind him. A tough catch, but you're a professional. We'll call that a drop, so it'll make my fact figure in here. I'm not going to force it, but Ahmed carries to midfield. On this drive, Brissett 5 out of 6, except for that one disconnect with Albert Wilson.
Oh, we'll see what Miami can do here. See if they can keep this going. Remember, they came off their own goal line here, backed up on the 8-yard line when this drive started. So they're going to at least they're going to be able to flip field position
and chew up time.
Yeah, chew up that time. So nice, some production here on this drive.
Knowing it's a defensive-driven, turnover-filled game.
Who gets the last takeaway?
An 11-point Miami lead. Brissett underneath. On the move, Adam Shaheen back up to Mike Gesicki. Also, we've seen Durham Smythe in this game quite a bit.
This is just a nice job. Watch, Adam Shaheen's going to give a little bit of help there on the pass protection, and then just kind of a delayed route. You kind of lose guys like that. Not only are you helping out your tackle and pass protection, but a lot of times you'll get lost in coverage because that linebacker takes a look at you, sees you engaged with that defensive end, and then moves on to his next progression.
Picked up 11 in a 4-catch game against Atlanta here. Sideline throw high. Waddle held on. There's a flag on the other side of the field around the 20. They're going to say he's out of bounds on the grab.
Before the pass, holding defense. Number 25. 5-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That was away from the ball where the ball was thrown.
Yeah, working against Mike Gesicki again. Or no, that's actually Mac Hollins. How can I miss that hair under that helmet?
Yeah, you go by the hair because the 86 and 88 are tough to tell. Yeah, you'd let that
like it was inside 5 yards, yeah. Didn't have the hold. Just looked like some contact.
Savon Ahmed carries, so almost 6 minutes on this drive, chewing up the clock. The Dolphins have moved into field goal range. And 4 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Couple of 1-7 teams. The Dolphins coming into the year after 10 wins last year. The expectations were high. They have not lived up to that. The Texans, given the Watson situation, those expectations were low, and they've kind of lived down to that.
Hey, I'm going in the gun. I'm in a gun.
He said he was going in the gun, and he moved back into the shotgun formation. And right into the arms of Jordan Jenkins, who hurt him, obviously.
Yeah, this makes it a little bit easier for me. I'll meet you back there in the gun. And just, you step down to help out your teammate, and Jesse Davis is trying to do it. Watch 77. He's going to come down and try and help out Robert Hunt inside, and then he can't get back out to get his guy, Jordan Jenkins. So
it'll be 3rd and 18. They lost 10 back to the 42. So at the very least, you hope to get in field goal range here if you're the Dolphins.
And it's the second time this afternoon, right on the cusp with that long field goal, they've taken a sack.
Here's a quick throw. Myles Gaskin is trying to work upfield, knocked down inside the 40. Rouge Hill has been active, and I don't know, do you try a field goal that long?
But, it's funny, during pregame, it seemed to be the other direction, where both of the kickers seemed to feel comfortable going for a long field goal, maybe kind of pressing their career longs. Going back the way we're going right now, it seemed that they were a little bit shorter.
Yeah, his career long for Sanders is 56. That would have been a 57-yard field goal try. And, look, the way that the Dolphin defense is playing and the Texan offense, right, this seems like the smart play. Just kick it, keep them deep. Fair catch called for inside the 10. So the Dolphin defense doing its job. Miami hanging on to a 17-6 lead here late in the third. Uh-oh, those are out.
Home and car insurance.
Dolphin defense has controlled this game from the beginning. Tyrod Taylor, first start since the first couple of games of the season, has suffered 3 interceptions. Philip Lindsay is the back after a 33-yard punt, pinned him deep. Taylor has time, and he's going to go down anyway. Agba again, who already has been in on a couple of sacks, and Jalen Phillips, the rookie first rounder from Miami, who has been frustrated much of his brief career.
Yeah, he's got Brandon Cooks, so it's a little bit of that, kind of RPO style, and I don't know why he didn't turn it loose. Maybe right now he's a little bit gun shy with the 3 interceptions, but Brandon Cooks is running away from coverage. But maybe some arms got up and obscured his vision, but thought he had an opportunity for a good play right there.
Christian Wilkins was slow to get up and headed over to the sideline for Miami. So it's a 5-yard loss and a second down, backed up around the 2 now. It'll be third down. Lindsay carried.
And now you're getting a little bit conservative now. You miss the play on first down, you get the sack, you take the negative play, and now you're forced to try to run it off your own back line.
3rd and 13, just over a minute or so to go. Texans really haven't even been close to getting a touchdown in this game. A couple of field goals off turnovers offensively. What do you think, Miami blitzes?
It's been very effective for them all afternoon.
Especially down here. Let's see. We've got, is that a flag or a delay or a timeout?
Before the play clock expired, timeout Houston. They're first. This will be a 30-second timeout.
And maybe this is why, this got all the way down to the play clock, almost ran out, because they have everybody walked up. And here's what's been happening today. That's Brandon Jones. He's free to the quarterback, impacts the throw, and it leads to an interception by Javon Holland. Here's Nick Needham coming off the slot, unblocked, free to the quarterback. Almost a fumble caused on Tyrod Taylor. And there's Jerome Baker, free to the quarterback, impacts the throw. So that's been the big thing this afternoon. Not only have the Dolphins brought pressure, but their guys are getting free runs at the quarterback.
The Flores specialty blitzing. And when it's done right, not much an offense can do. Underneath, short of the 20-yard line, is Anthony Leclerc, reserve tight end, and that is enough for the first down.
Brian Flores is going to be so upset right now. Just coming off the edge right there. Turns and looks real quick. Gets north and south right away.
Without a huddle, Taylor on the move. And completes. Running out of bounds is Chris Moore. Talked about Tyrod's career. He was a starter in Buffalo, but he was in Cleveland where they thought he could start before Baker Mayfield took over. And, of course, he had the chance with the Chargers, a punctured lung. Justin Herbert took over and has been outstanding, and he's, instead of being bitter about it, just grateful that he's had opportunities to play in the league this long. Johnson carries, and here he came in and was the starter, Culley said, when he knew Watson wasn't going to be the guy. And after leading the Texans to an opening day win and a hamstring injury, he's come back at a tough spot. With 1 quarter to go, it's the Dolphins up 17-6. You see this scoring by quarter. What you may not have seen if you weren't watching along with all of us, 7 combined turnovers, most in any game so far this year. And we start the 4th quarter. Darrell Johnston, Jen Hill, Chris Myers, our crew. Rough day for Tyrod Taylor. The Dolphin defense whether it's been harassing him on blitzes or intercepting him. Needs 2 for a first down. Game within reach of the Texans and wide open and moving upfield is Danny Amendola. Getting a good block. Goes out of bounds. There's a flag back at the 31-yard line. Couple of big plays called back on the part of the Texans because of penalties in this game. They have 8 so far that have been accepted against him. That was a pickup.
There is no foul on the play for offensive pass interference. First down, Houston.
48-yard gainer.
Yeah, absolutely agree. They're going to try and call it on Nico Collins right here. He's just releasing and going upfield, and Nick Needham's going to run into him. You know, he's got a right to that space as well. I thought that was very similar to one we saw earlier with Landon Roberts when he ran into one of the Houston Texans defenders on a big play down the sideline.
Nico Collins showing some blocking ability to help on the respot. 39 yards officially on that play by Amendola. And Taylor under pressure. Dumps it off to David Johnson, who slips a tackle. And inside the 20. Goes out of bounds. First down, Houston. The 17-yard line is the closest they've been to the Miami goal line prior to this drive.
And this is a smart play by Tyrod Taylor. He wants to get it downfield, but you got David Johnson one-on-one with Brendan Scarlett right there. That's a good matchup for the Texans in space.
Pickup of 15. Protected. Now on the move. Towards the 5-yard line out of bounds. He had his tight end Akins a little shorter and closer. Just didn't happen for him. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Jerome Baker looks much better this week. You could see the last time we saw him play, you could tell that injury was bothering him before he went out of the lineup. He's getting back near 100%. He's played very well this afternoon.
Rex Burkhead is checked in at running back. Fake to him, pressure floats, and the catch held on to by the rookie from Miami, Brevin Knight, at his NFL debut last week, and a touchdown catch. Brevin Jordan against the Rams, and here he juggles, but Jordan does hold on to it.
Yeah, and I thought we might see Brevin Jordan a little bit more early in the game. He was a guy that had progressed, and the coaches recognized the effort and the work at practice, and got an opportunity last week with Farrell Cooper out of the lineup, and thought he'd see a little bit more action here.
His former team, the Hurricanes, won on this field yesterday. Now, he was bothered a little bit by an ankle injury course of the week. On a 3rd and 6 from the 15. Wide open at the 10. That's Brandon Cooks. 1st and goal for Houston at the 5.
And the biggest thing was getting that protection solidified up front. You know, getting that formation right, getting everybody assigned, knowing it. They still had a guy, Javon Holland, is coming free from Tyrod Taylor's left, but was able to get it delivered in time.
Burkhead had a touchdown last week as the back. He gets the football and straight ahead. It'll be 2nd and goal. There have already been 37 fourth quarter comeback wins this season, 2nd most through 8 weeks in NFL history. Now here in week 9, Texans hoping to at least force the issue on that. This drive chewing up time, but they're in their best position to get a touchdown in this game. Spotted at the 4. Late substitution for Miami on defense. Zach Sealer comes in. Taylor on the move. Throws. Catch made before going out of bounds by the tight end Jordan Akins.
This is a really, really impressive individual effort by Tyrod Taylor. Watch the stiff arm coming up right here. Gives himself a little bit of extra room to the eye. I mean, that's Christian Wilkins. He's kind of giving the stiff arm too.
In the red zone so far, an interception, field goal. No touchdowns for Houston. 3rd and goal. It's going to be a challenge, I believe, and it's coming from the Dolphins.
Yeah, did he get his foot down?
Well, it was ruled a catch.
Miami is challenging the ruling on the field of a completed pass.
Brian Flores is 0 for 2 in his career on challenges. We'll have a closer look at this one on the field. There's one. Is that in? It's ruled a catch. They're going to look at it. The catch after the challenge is upheld, so 0 for 3 this year on challenges for Brian Flores, 6 for 16 in his career. Wanted to correct that issue, so he loses a timeout here. And the Texans on a 3rd and goal from the 2. David Johnson, the running back. Nico Collins and Brandon Cooks. Collins bottom of your screen. Cooks in the slot. Taylor is under pressure and into the end zone. It's 4th down. Good defense again for Miami. Good red zone defense.
Well, I just don't know what's happened. I don't know how you're turning these big guys inside loose immediately. I mean, you've got a guy basically right over top of the guard. Raekwon Davis just gets turned loose right to the quarterback.
Field goal unit coming out. You're assuming you make this and then it's a 1-possession game. Miami with the lead, holding on.
I just don't know how you miss number 98 in that situation and don't have somebody in front of him.
Fairbairn, who is 2 for 2, to get his team to within 8, and he does. Again, inside 40 yards, he's money. Mike Pereira, that challenge and that call upheld. Do you agree with that, watching along with us?
Yeah, I really do, Chris. I'm a little bit surprised, though, that Brian Flores would challenge that, because really it's only a 2-yard difference. So you're talking about 3rd and goal from the 4 versus 3rd and goal from the 2, and it cost him a timeout. But you go through the same process, which we've always talked about. 1 foot, 2 foot, you've got control first, go to the ground, you hold on to the ball. It's certainly a catch. So a little bit surprising to me, though, that he would challenge that.
Yeah, it was close on the sideline, but it looked like there was some green in between there, which is what you look for, and that foot was not on the white portion of the field. So the good news for the Texans, though, they get points out of this.
But again, kind of just one of those parts of the game that you overlook, the mechanics of making a challenge. You've got other people weighing in on this decision. You know, Brian Flores is not doing that all by himself. He's got people talking to him about whether to challenge or not. So just one of those areas of a functioning team on a game day that maybe you need to take a look at to see if we need to get better here. Look at what our record is on our challenges. Is this something we need to kind of take a look at and maybe get a better protocol put in place?
Jalen Waddle from the 6-yard line. There's some of that raw speed all the way up across the 30. Going out of bounds around the 33-yard line. And Carissa standing by with a game break.
Thank you, Chris. Ravens down by 7 in the 4th. Lamar Jackson will find Devin Duvernay in the back of the end zone, who makes an unbelievable catch. We are all tied at 24. Chris?
All right, fun game there. So the Ravens have come back. The Cowboys have not, getting shut out by the Broncos 30-0 in Texas. And the Bengals haven't been able to come back at home, losing to the Browns 34-16. That's with 9 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. And Atlanta with a 24-13 lead, under 5 to play in New Orleans. Brissett throws and completes. Kirk Merritt. Looks like he has enough for a first down. Hey, Saturday Big 12 contenders square off. Big noon Saturday game of the week. It's Oklahoma against number 12 Baylor. Big noon kickoff starts at 10 a.m. from Waco, 10 Eastern. All part of the Big Noon Saturday coverage on Fox and on the Fox Sports app. Over 200 yards through the air for Brissett. And a first down from the 45 with time, and drops. Merritt had a chance. Would have been a first down. That last drive, by the way, Texans marched 91 yards and took over 5.5 minutes and had to settle for 3.
And watch, we're going to have some pressure come in here for the Texans, but it's easy to diagnose pre-snap, and you get everybody covered up, and your quarterback has plenty of time in the pocket. So even when the Texans try to get a little bit aggressive with a pressure package, it's not working. Nothing even close to what the Miami Dolphins defense has been able to do to the Texans offense.
So Merritt, after his first career catch, couldn't hold on to that one. I had one earlier where he was overthrown and looked like he was open. Brissett rolling. Not a lot of room out there, but he throws it to, it bounced to Mac Hollins, ruled incomplete. It's a long way to go to come down with that football. Well, I understand throwing. I mean, it's a one-score game. At least the Dolphins are being aggressive and not sitting on the lead.
Yeah, Mac Hollins working right there across the field, kind of on that over route, real physical, letting them play there on that release. That was down the field where they were getting after it.
And he's 6'4", so angular. He's got to come down, slide. He made that catch in the end zone. Hollins couldn't come up with this one because it was thrown too low.
Here's a big snap right here, Chris. I mean, we got 3rd and 10.
And here comes it. Looked like they wanted a timeout before the snap. Let's see.
Timeout, Miami. Their second.
They will have one remaining, so they wanted to discuss things on 3rd and 10.
Talked about this being a big snap at 3rd and 10, and you see that play clock running down, but they're going to get the ball off. It's not going to go to third. You know, you're not going to get penalized for delay of game, so you lost another timeout, so now you've only got one timeout left in a one-possession game.
The bigger deal is, can they convert? The protection was there. The throw is there. Can he get the first down? And yes, Waddle gets it done. And maybe that was the reason for the timeout. Get the right play and get it to the right guy. Picked up 14.
Yeah, watch the traffic that Desmond King has to run through to get back on Jalen Waddle. There's not a chance. Somebody's got to recognize that. So we talked about them maybe burning that timeout unnecessarily. They went back and pulled that play up and changed plays. It is well worth it in that situation to be able to convert that 3rd and 10.
7 catches for Jalen Waddle, who's up at the top of your screen. Gaskin splits up to the top of your screen. Waddle to the right of Brissett. And he'll dump it into the middle there at the 36-yard line to Waddle. Boy, the Dolphins, you know, we talked about in the 3rd year of Brian Flores, they started 0-7 in 2019. Then they went 5-4. And last year they started 1-3, and then they won 9-3. So they're not acting like at 1-7, and in this game that things are all wrapped up. So you could just start out a little better. But they're going to have to finish strong here. And that conversion was big to keep the football away from the Texans.
Hey, reload! Let's go! Oh, you set!
Gaskin to the 31-yard line, near another Miami first down as Tua cheers him on.
And I think that's one of the reasons that this staff and these players have faith in the process. We hear it a lot when we're dealing with teams that are going through that transition to a new head coach, and they always talk about process and culture. And these guys have never wavered. They've always talked about that. When we talk to the players, we get the same information. So that goes to show you the second half of the season, the light bulb has come on. They've just got to get there quicker. They can't have these slow starts year after year. They need to be further down the road.
He did get the first down. This time, Myles Gaskin knocked down by Grugier Hill back at the 35-yard line. Another big defensive play. Let's check in with Carissa.
Thank you, Chris. Ravens-Vikings tied at 24. Lamar Jackson hands it off to Le'Veon Bell, who scores from 1 yard out. Ravens have scored 21 points unanswered as they lead 31-24. Chris?
All right, thank you. And the hard luck Vikings with a lot of offensive talent who had a lead throughout that game are now down 7 with under 3.5 to go. After a 5-yard loss, look out, ball's out. It's a fumble. And it is ruled recovery. Texans. Malik Collins came up with it. And it looked like Jacob Martin was the one who forced the fumble on the pass rush. How fitting, another turnover. That's 8 combined in this game.
Yeah, and it's a really nice job in those zone coverages. You're dropping back and you're in zone, but you've got guys coming in. I want you to keep an eye on Zach Cunningham right here. He's the guy that kind of makes Jacoby Brissett hold it for another second. He's got 2 guys right there, right? He makes the right choice by going over to cover. I think it's Durham Smythe, and that gives Jacob Martin enough time. It gives him that extra second to be able to get that sack fumble.
A big play for the Texans and the Lovie Smith defense at the 40-yard line of Houston. Taylor has it. That's Jordan. And stays inbound, stops short of the 45-yard line. There's the numbers. Each team with a 7-game losing streak, and they combine for 8 turnovers. And Miami happens to be on the winning side, but they have 5 giveaways, turnovers, if you want to refer to Texan takeaways. Tyrod Taylor for a first down at midfield, and it's Brandon Cooks with a first down inside the Miami 45-yard line. So it's a one-score game, and the Dolphins are moving in for at least field goal range and chewing up the clock. But then the Texan defense with the sack fumble, and now it's up for grabs.
I don't think the Texans are going to be thinking field goal right here on this possession unless they get into something that it just doesn't make sense. It's a 3rd and 15, but they're in field goal range. They need to have a touchdown and a 2-point conversion on this drive.
Totally agree. If Taylor can stay on his feet and open down the middle of the field. Looks like Brandon Cooks was back there, or Amendola, but caught up, and maybe that's residue from the heat he's been taking all day from the defense.
I think he and Rex Burkhead click feet. You know, let's see. You know, right here as he does the play action. Did they hit feet? Sure do.
Yep, the right foot of Burkhead. At least he held on to the football, and we would have had another turnover.
Wow.
A loss of 11. Yeah, sometimes it is the other team. Sometimes you're not good. Taylor will keep. He's got room to run and slides around the 47 of Miami.
You talk about not being able to make plays and not doing things to beat yourself. Who would think that Tyrod Taylor and Rex Burkhead would click feet to a point where they would lose 11 yards on a play? I mean, those are your 2 veteran guys. Those are the 2 guys that a lot of the young guys in the locker room are looking to. It's just like one of those situations in a season like Houston and Miami are both in, the type of plays that happen.
Well, they need 12, and they have 2 downs to do it. Unless they play it differently. Still 2 timeouts for Houston and the 2-minute warning. Trailing by 8. Burkhead is in there. He's watching his feet. So is Tyrod Taylor. The blitz is on. He lets it go. Brandon Cooks back there, but he was just getting rid of that. And Holland came in to apply the pressure from that secondary.
Yeah, I mean, you look at everybody across, and then I want you to watch. You're going to have a couple of guys drop out at the end, just in case you're trying to sneak somebody through to dump the ball off. But again, that's why your edges are free. Everybody's squeezing down inside, but then 2 of your inside guys are dropping out, and they've done that continually. So there's not a recognition and a call in the protection scheme, and we're seeing the same result play after play when they get up in that 0 coverage.
Since they need 12, they're going to play the field position game. Holland, the fair catch back there around 11. The 11-yard line. Just over 5 minutes to go. Jacoby Brissett, the late starter Sunday morning, has the lead here. After that 37-yard punt puts the Dolphins at the 11-yard line. Just over 5 minutes to go, and Miami with 5 giveaways or turnovers. Last time they were able to win a game with that many was when Dan Marino was the quarterback. He only had 1 interception. The rest of those were fumbles, and that was against New England way back when. Myles Gaskin carries. So how aggressive do you want to be if you're the Dolphins? There's the great Dan Marino.
Dan Marino.
Recently turned 60 years of age, looking great. Might need to call on him if you got Tua backing up Brissett. Well, he was fun to watch. after no gain. Time. Myles Gaskin. Something positive, but it's not a first down. Let's get a game break. Here's Carissa.
Well, Chris, I'm going to let you guys know what's coming up next. It's America's Game of the Week. Jordan Love makes his first NFL start for the 7-1 Packers against Patrick Mahomes as he looks to right the ship there in Kansas City. It's all coming up next. It's America's Game of the Week. Chris?
All right, thanks. And Devontae Adams is back for Green Bay. I believe they also activated Marquez Valdez-Scantling, the speedy receiver downfield. Interesting to see what happens there as Mahomes trying to redirect his season. Did he hang on? Mac Hollins. Clutch catch for the first down.
And just a bad job by the Texans coming out of that bunch. They drop Mac Hollins.
Yeah, that was a key, what could have been a key stop because they would have been in position to get the ball back. And now Texans have 2 timeouts, but Miami is going to chew up as much of the clock as they can.
Yeah, 51, ready.
Hollins with 3 grabs today, including that touchdown.
18,
Gaskin fighting hard for every yard. There's just not a lot of running room. And Texans will use a timeout. They'll have 1 remaining with 3:17 to go.
Houston. There.
Well, Flores hoping that this is the start of that second half run that we've seen in his first 2 years as the head coach, and David Culley in his first year juggling players, quarterbacks, and our view from the booth. Well, I mean, all the turnovers have made it an entertaining game, fitting with 8 turnovers, 2 teams with 7-game losing skids, but somebody's going to get it right here in the final moments.
Yeah, and it comes down to making plays, and we've heard both of these teams talk about that through this 1-7 start for each of them, and we've seen evidence of that here this afternoon. There's been opportunities for one of the teams to make plays and separate, and sometimes they do, but then they'll make those negative plays and let their opponent back into the game. So, you know, I think it's sometimes during the course of the game, both teams were a little bit too aggressive in situations. They're not quite there yet as a team to be that bold, even playing against an opponent that's similar to you in the record and the struggles.
Gaskin carries across the 30. And let's see if they save that timeout. It's a 3rd down play, and if Houston gets the stop.
Timeout, Houston.
So they are out of timeouts. There will be a 2-minute warning whether they have the football or not. Obi Smith trying to have somebody on that defense step up to force a punt from Miami.
Well, I'm not going to let Mike Gesicki be the guy that converts here. So, you know, hopefully the Texans have some kind of defensive scheme right now where number 88 is not going to win the game for Miami right here. So we'll see what they do there. And Myles Gaskin has been productive as well.
Well, Jalen Waddle has 8 catches. He's your speed guy.
Yep.
And Mac Hollins has come up pretty big. And Waddle has been big on 3rd down catches. We saw that already in the game. But, yeah, anything near Gesicki, I mean, he'll haul it in with one hand. And there he is at the bottom of your screen. He looked that way. Brissett on the move. He could run for it. And Gesicki downfield. He can't hold on. King was running with it. It would have been a tough catch. Hollins, downfield. Again, the 86-88, but Gesicki was crossing underneath, and he went for the deep ball.
Yeah. So he's on the outside. Mac Hollins is on the outside. Works back inside. Sees the play break down. There's the adjustment going deep. He's on top of Desmond King. I like the no call right there. Both players had their arms up just off his fingertips.
And Hollins had a shot at it. And Desmond King now is back to receive the punt. Fair catch called for just inside the 20. Texans will have no timeouts. But every down will be a desperate down to get into the end zone and get a 2-point conversion. You heard Carissa moments ago talk about the Packers and the Chiefs. No Aaron Rodgers. But Jordan Love's first NFL start in, of all places, Kansas City. Chiefs with a 4-4 year. These are the numbers. Mahomes coming off Monday night's success over his career. A different Chiefs team this year, but at home things fall right. They can turn things around in the AFC West. 50 8-yard punt. And on first down, underneath, it's Nico Collins with a first down across the 30. At home in the fourth quarter last week, they put up numbers late against the Rams. But on the road, different story for this offense. They need a touchdown and a conversion that's short of the first down. The ball's out. Miami has it. Brandon Jones, but was it a catch? They're going to rule it incomplete. That's Akins.
Let's go through the process. I don't know. I tell you what, it looks like there's enough time there. So he's got possession. It looks as though there's enough time for him to take that third step, that act common to the game.
Yeah, we're going to need a challenge and they're going to throw a challenge flag from the Dolphins sideline because we're not under 2 minutes, and that's what Brian Flores is saying.
I mean, does it come out before that third step?
Challenging the ruling on the field of an incomplete pass.
There's 2 hands, 2 feet, the football move, and then it's knocked loose. Mike Pereira will be watching. He's been busy, our rules analyst, checking on things as well. An effort to come up with that.
Yeah, almost the interception by Brandon Jones.
Almost a clean pick.
You know, the more I look at it, it looks like maybe he doesn't have possession. So, you know, that as the process goes through from step A to B to C, the first one is, do you have possession? And then the time to make that. I love that. So he dropped the interception, so he's got to pay his penance with his push-ups.
Mike Pereira, we look at it in slow motion, Mike. When you saw that, what'd you think?
I think incomplete. I mean, when you're looking at the process, to me, you know, the ball's coming out when that third step hits the ground. Close play, if you're looking at that, to try to identify if the third step makes it a catch. But that's the second, third, and then knocked out. It's a pretty close play, that's for sure.
Yeah, I give Eric Rowe credit for digging in there at the football. And then Jones for trying to track it. He did have a clean recovery, so if it is a fumble, yeah, and they'll look at it both ways, slow it down and in real time where it's bang bang.
In real time, it kind of looks more convincing that he kind of had the possession and it's a fumble.
It's the whole process of control. When you're looking at control, where did he first get control of the ball? Did he have his back foot down when he first got control? That's what they're going to have to look at also.
Well, and the Dolphins, that's their final timeout. If they lose the challenge, they're out of timeouts.
And that brings up the point that when we had Mike with us earlier, why did you challenge that play prior? Here earlier in the fourth quarter when it was only going to net you 2 yards.
But here, if they get it, it's pretty much game, set, match here. I mean,
what do you think?
With no timeouts.
I think he got the third step.
For Houston.
I thought so.
Mike Pereira has a team of people helping him review things, and then ultimately he decides. You wonder how much help from New York the crews are getting here. Obviously, the replay here. And again, how it's ruled on the field. If it's a coin flip, they usually stay with that unless there's something clearly obvious. I'm sure people at home, maybe it depends who you're rooting for in this game. It's already a game that was more low scoring than most people thought it would be. And the Dolphins protecting a lead that would make people happy who thought the Dolphins would win this game. Somebody had to get out of here with a victory. Let's check in with Mike Pereira again.
Yeah, it looks to me like they're going to leave it as a catch fumble. That's what they're going to look at, and it's going to be what they're going to, or they're going to make it a catch fumble. What they're looking at is the 3 steps. So when the first control, when there's control there, that left toe's on the ground, number 2, number 3, and then it's knocked out. So I think they're going to actually make this a catch and a fumble.
And a clear recovery, as you always point out, Mike, has to be there, and that is there, and that's why the Dolphins are dancing. But we'll wait for the official word.
After review, it was determined that the receiver controlled the pass, had time to make a football move, fumbled the ball. It's a clear recovery by Miami. First down, Miami. Miami will not be charged with a timeout. Miami has no challenges remaining. Please set the game clock to 2:28. Thank you.
How fitting that this could be sealed by yet another turnover. That is nine combined turnovers in this game, but great hustle on the part of the Dolphins because they had to force that one and then stay, and Eric Rowe did, and then stay with it for the recovery. And then a challenge that worked in favor this time for Brian Flores.
I didn't see the number of turnovers coming today. I just hadn't really seen that through film and different things. To have that many between these two teams, that to me has been the surprising thing, especially with Tyrod Taylor, the three interceptions early in the game. That was really surprising.
Rowe getting a call from the president of the Dolphins, maybe. Gaskin carries. No timeouts for the Texans. Miami will let it run down to that 2-minute warning. Couple more snaps. There's a chance they can get it back, but Miami might be able, whether they want to try a field goal or not, to keep it from being a one-possession game, if it even comes to that. But a first down would seal it on 2nd down 9, spotted at the 35 of Houston after the Dolphin defense, which has been strong all day, protects what the offense has put up on the board. 2 minutes to go here and a 17-9 Dolphin lead, and they have the football.
Hey, USAA, it's Gronk again, and I'm here with my man, Frank. Frank, say hi.
Hi.
Frank was in the Army, and he's been enjoying that award-winning USAA service for
10 years.
Anyway, he's in. And Frank, don't you love me, man?
Sure, Gronk.
And don't you think I deserve a USAA membership?
Did you serve? Are your parents members?
Nope.
Then no. I love that it's for the military community.
Frank, that's not the line.
USAA. It's still only for the military community.
Better shouldn't have to cost more.
At Verizon, plans start at just $35. And if you're not a customer, we'll help cover the cost to switch. Just ask Wanda. She's been with us since now.
Everyone gets $1,000 when they join.
Because everyone deserves better.
This is called momentum. And there's no off season. It's work that builds on itself. Over and over and over again. Because the only way is through.
Your hand in mine. Let's dance the night away.
Bring your holiday to life with Harry and David Gourmet Gifts. Order now for Christmas delivery.
There's hot. Woo! Then there's Ghost Pepper Nugget Hot. Fill the flame at BK with 8 pieces for just $1.49. Keep cool and feel the fire with Ghost Pepper Nuggets at BK. Your way spicier.
Fox Wednesday, it's a wild night on television's biggest singing competitions. First on The Masked Singer, the semifinals are here. And a double elimination throws the show into chaos.
What? Are you kidding me? Let's go!
Then it's an emotional battle on Alter Ego for the last spots in the semifinals.
I felt a lot of unexpected love.
And one avatar will stand above the rest.
Intrigue, mystery, excitement. You have all those things.
An all-new Masked Singer, followed by an all-new Alter Ego. Wednesday on Fox.
Week 9 continues later today on CBS and Fox. Then tonight on NBC. Tune in tomorrow for Monday Night Football on ESPN. Stream games on mobile with the Yahoo Sports and NFL apps.
Today's game is sponsored by Burger King. New Ghost Pepper Chicken Nuggets, just $1.49. Don't fear the heat.
Here in Miami, Dolphin fans hoping that their team can put this away. No timeouts for Houston. Upsets all over the place today. The Saints losing to Atlanta. Cowboys blown out by the Broncos. Jacksonville is about to beat Buffalo. Bengals lost to the Browns.
118. What's that?
Gaskin carries. So you're on the fence here a little bit. Bonus coverage coming up as the Vikings and Ravens in overtime. So it looks like they just want to work as much clock as possible. And then it's up to them to punt it. Be too long for a field goal, maybe too risky.
Well, that's the big thing. They can't just take it all the way down and kill this clock. They're going to have to make a decision on 4th down. If you've got positive yards, do you feel good in your snap, hold, kick execution to try a long field goal, or do you just want to try and punt it and bury him down there? Usually punting is one of the safer ways to get a kickoff without a block.
118.
So here you can, if you don't get the first down, which he does not, take some time off at the last moment, take the timeout for Miami, then make your decision before the Texans will get the football. Let's get another game break from Carissa.
Thanks, Chris. Falcons down by 1, 3 seconds left. Younghoe Koo's 29-yard field goal is good. Falcons have now won 3 of their last 4 and improved to 4-4 on the season. Chris?
All right, thanks. So after that impressive win by the Saints against the Bucs, they're brought back down to earth. It's been that kind of a league, that kind of a season. And again, that bonus coverage, Vikings, Ravens from Baltimore in overtime coming your way. And then the Chiefs and the Packers on Fox. So the last time out, good thing that Flores has that. And you'll make a decision here. So a field goal would be 50, 51 yards. And then you got about the field position gain. So the punter's already.
5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Pilardi's ready to do his thing and put them inside the 10. Of course, the Texans could go for a block.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's one of those things we always kid at our specialists about. You know, if you're the field goal kicker and you're out there at the end of the game, there's all that pressure on you to make the field goal and win the game. Right now, they've told Michael Pilardi, just don't let it get blocked. It can go 20 yards. just don't let it get blocked.
Get it down the field. Last game with 9 turnovers combined. It's been 5 years. And Miami, despite all that, a chance to get their 2nd win of the year and end the 7-game losing skid. Pilardi does get it away. King will let it fall. And great special teams work. Who else? Mac Hollins, special teams captain. Pilardi drops it in. He's there to down it. It's a long way to go for the Texans.
And this is how good these guys have gotten today. You see Desmond King right there. He's at the 6-yard line. Do I fair catch it? Do I let it go and bounce in? And these guys are so good as punters and gunners, getting that downed inside the 5 nowadays. Great execution.
Special teams when called upon. 98 yards away.
27 seconds.
And no timeouts.
It's doable.
And a guy who just came back after being out since week 2. No touchdowns today, all field goals for the Texans. Tyrod Taylor from his own end zone is incomplete. Dolphins with 5 sacks.
Yeah, that pressure package all day today just gave the Texans fits. They would never really were able to sort through it. You know, just walking everybody up, making them kind of decipher who was coming, who was dropping.
Underneath, they're going to try. He's going to try to pitch it as Danny Amendola, and it's a live clock without the Texans able to stop. 5, 4, 3. He's going to have one more chance for. So it'll have to be a Hail Mary and a half.
Well, I think you had to kind of come out with that mindset, right? I mean, you're at the 2-yard line. I mean, you've got to have, you practice this is a special part of what you do during the course of the practice week is this situation right here. And you're just going to have to stack your Hail Mary passes together. I mean, you've got no timeouts. You had very little time. You got to go 98 yards. This just kind of shows you the growth process that this team has to go through, that they've only gained 4 yards since they took over.
Taylor from his own end zone, caught by Brandon Cooks. The flip. And another flip, and that's it. That's how it goes. The Dolphins snap the 7-game slide, get win number 2. 8 straight defeats for the Texans. And a game full of turnovers. Jacoby Brissett, a late starter Sunday morning, leads Miami to victory for Brian Flores. Kurt Menefee standing by in Annapolis.